Hello and welcome back to Charlie's Diary, guys. This is Justy, and today we are going to see GegenPressing and counter attacks. Okay, now normally we just deal with counter attacks, but today we are actually combining the two together. We are actually combining GegenPressing and counter attacks together. Okay, now GegenPressing is nothing but Gegen is a German word and it translates to counter. Okay, so it is basically counter pressing and counter attacking. Okay, now before that, for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, kindly do subscribe, and I am leaving a link in the description for Iceman's Discord server and his YouTube channel as well. Do check it out because both of them are really good, and you will find so many informative posts in those two videos. I mean, not just videos, in his videos as well as in his Discord server. Okay, and it will help you with your game. Okay, so you do that. And about this video now, we are actually going to play a test match also. You can see that it's against a player who I regularly play. So we are going to see the methodology first. Okay, what counter pressing means is, suppose the red team has the ball here, and so all the players will approach him and put pressure on him. Okay, and he will have to pass the ball to somebody, and when he passes, somebody intersects the ball and launches a counter attack. Okay, and that can be converted to a goal. Sorry. So that is what gegen pressing is. Okay, now there are 4 stages in any game. You have your in possession stage, you have your transition towards out possession, you will be out of possession, and then you have a transition to in possession, and then you finally get the possession. Okay, now any game has this 4 stages, so you have to be creative enough to stay in these two regions. Okay, you should be in possession and you can reach up to the transition to out possession, you can go there, but you have to convert that into in possession again. If you lose the possession, then you have it, you will concede. So those you have to keep in mind, and based on that, you can divide those into 4 sections, which is on the ball, off the ball, closing the pass lane, and cover man. Okay, now this can be simplified into the space focus, which means like I mentioned earlier, the players will be running in to the close man, and the space is actually condensed so that he won't have any space to pass. Now the second one is man marking, which means that all the players will be marking individually, so whenever a person passes, the third point comes in play, which is intersecting the pass line, because he was man marking. Okay, so based on that, now the fourth point is actually obsolete. Okay, so today we are actually trying Jose Mourinho's 4-5-1 formula. He used it wisely against while he was in Chelsea. So that formation is what we are going to try. We will be using 2 MCs here, where one will be playing really forward and one will be playing slightly on the defensive half, and we have 3 attackers as well. I will explain this formation in detail while we go into the match. Now with the tactics, your team mentality is defensive or normal. Okay, and your focus passing is through the middle here, and I'll explain why in the match. And passing is mixed, and your force counter is on. Okay, now with the defensive tactics, your pressing obviously has to be high. Okay, because I will explain that also why I will explain in match. And your tackling is you have to be easy tackle, but depending on your opponent, you can choose that also. Now the marking here is man marking here, I am choosing that, and I will explain to you why. Now the offside, it doesn't make any difference whether you choose it on or off. So I've set the team, and you can see that I have placed one of my defenders above and one below, and now both my wingers are actually playing forward. Okay, and I have given them attack arrows. The 2 players are actually they will be supporting the attackers, is what I meant. And then you have your regular wingers, one ST as well. Okay, and what is important to notice here is, the one which is playing ahead, uh, below the center line, should have slightly higher defensive stats, so that he supports the mid winger, and the one that is playing above should have um, slightly higher attacking stats. So that is where this play becomes really important, and the midfielder who plays above the center line has to be really strong. And this opponent is actually really good. We have faced each other in many occasions, and he is really, really good. He constantly beats me, but last season I had an opportunity to beat him with this strategy. So I thought of sharing this with you. Like you can see, his striker is actually made of gold, and he's good. So 142% striker. His skills are also okay, and he's a good player. So against this guy, I have faced him a lot, and he's a tough opponent, to be frank. And he kind of beat me fair and square in the last Champions League group stages, and then finally I got him in the quarterfinals or something like that. So the tactics, like we discussed, everything is the same. And with the tackling, it is said that you have to go on easy. You have to be very easy with that tackling while you use this kind of a method. Okay, but depending on your opponent, you can actually shift that based on the strength of your opponent, and I advise strongly on that. Okay, so the match has begun, and I did try to analyze this match then, but unfortunately time has straight away I have scored uh, yeah, so I did try to analyze, because time was not really helpful for me, because with the work and the things that is going on with my life, everything is actually cramping me for time. The defender who is supposed to mark, I want the other defender to mark the striker, because number 5 is not that good. Oh man, he's going to score. I think I should shift that, I should swap the defender. Yeah. So, offside. So, with the, with the team arrangement, I use man marking here, because I feel comfortable, putting my players. Oh man, again I have to shift that. See, I have to shift him. Number 4 is actually good, and number 5 is actually not that good with defending, so I need number 4 to mark the striker. Yeah, now I think it should be fine. Okay, so I'm using man marking here, because my players are actually comfortable with doing a one-on-one duel with every individual player. So I feel that is more flexible, rather than placing everybody in a manner where you can intersect all the passes. Second goal. Okay, so rather than placing everybody in a position where you can actually intersect all the passes, that is actually quite troublesome, to be frank, because you need to exactly know how each formation plays, and then you have to place players along the line of the passing of your opponent team. So that actually is a little painful to do, which is why I am opting man marking here. But you can also do the other one, where you play zonal and you place them in the proper place. If you have a lot of time, and if you know how every formation works, then you can do that. And with the tackling, you have to be easy on tackling here. Why? Because when you go hard, when you use see, third goal. Yeah, so when you go on hard tackling, what happens is basically you actually create a lot of sliding tackles. That is a theory behind it, or at least that is what we know. So when that happens, the players are not on foot actually. So you want your players on foot all the time to intersect all the passes. That is why you have to go easy on tackling. That is why I mentioned that. Okay. So that these players always remain on foot, and whenever a pass comes their way, they can intersect and initiate a counter attack. Now don't mistake this counter attack with the animated fast paced goal which you see. Okay, every defensive goal is actually a counter attacking goal, and based on the team's performance, how your team behave, you can actually choose whether to use counter attack or whether not to use counter attack. But you can always use this gegen pressing every time. Okay, by simply by placing 4-1. Nice. Simply by placing all the players appropriately and using high pressing. Okay, high pressing, why? Because I've mentioned it many times, because we want your because we are using counter attacks here, there is a chance that you will be giving away the ball. Even if otherwise also, when you use high pressing, your strikers will also come into the defensive action, and kind of see, yeah, and kind of they will also take part in the defensive system, even though if it is on the other half. Now again, certain teams, when they play hard defensive, you will have to use high pressing, because like I mentioned in one of my videos, the point of contact where the exchange of ball happens between both the teams, that has to be noted, and another goal. So it is 5-1 now. See, so that is working actually, because in the last season I played against this person here, and he's a very good player. I know him from season 3. I know him in the sense on the field I know him. I have never met him in person, and he is really good. From season 3 onwards, I see him always supporting me, and I support him also. And last season we had a match in Champions League. In the group stages, he kind of destroyed me. And again we met in the quarters or semis, I guess, and that time I used this strategy. I started I used this gegen pressing and kind of did well against him, and I destroyed his chances for winning the Champions Trophy. But I won the Champions Trophy, so everything is fair and square, right? So yeah, nice. Oh man, these guys actually miss a lot of goals. I don't know why. Anyway, so that is about this gegen pressing. I think the match is actually over. 5-1 we won, and that is how we do gegen pressing. And remember those 4 transition points which I mentioned earlier, because they kind of evolve. They evolve in your game. You can see the chart here. We have a possession of 57%, okay, which is not bad for a 118% guy, and his team is also very good, right? So that's in this video, guys. This is Justy signing off from Charlie's Diary. Take care.